Hey, good morning, class. Welcome to week 9 of our Intro to American Government course. Now, we've been getting pretty deep into the interesting part of politics since our last test. And I apologize, I haven't been doing as many of these videos. I had a little incident myself. Got some stitches and cut my hand. My typing ability has been decreased, but we're moving on. And this week we have a super interesting week to be talking about our American democracy, elections. We have 2 chapters this week. Chapter 8 on voting and participation. Chapter 10 on elections, actually conducting elections. So it's kind of like how voters think about it, how voters think about participating in elections is chapter 8, and then chapter 10, how do we actually run and conduct elections? 2 very important aspects of our democracy. We need people to participate. We need lots of people. We need a broad set of people to participate in our elections. They need to feel that their vote matters and their vote counts. Our candidates need to be able to reach them and bring their message to them. And then on election day, and we usually have early voting and election day with mail-in ballots and curbside voting, lots of different ways to participate in our elections. We need to make sure those go smooth and that we can trust, most importantly, that we can trust the outcomes in our elections. And in reality, that's the biggest elephant in the room when it comes to American elections in our current democracy. Trust in government is at an all-time low, as well as, unfortunately, trust in elections. And that's a major problem for any democracy, no matter how you cut it, no matter which side you end up on why you distrust elections. Distrusting elections is a major problem in any democracy. And unfortunately, we are fully there in the United States. We are deep in it. But it must be reiterated in this, particularly in a political science course, particularly in election year. We're in an election year right now. It needs to be reiterated that the United States has fair, secure, and trustworthy elections. We don't have major fraud in our elections. We don't have massive numbers of people that should not be participating, non-citizens participating in our elections. But we have lots of disinformation, lots of people saying the exact opposite, lots of people trying to convince voters that their vote doesn't count, or that there are other people influencing the elections. And that's just simply not true. We have very secure elections. We have decentralized elections. One of the most secure part of American elections is the decentralized nature of our elections. We don't have national elections. We don't have, the federal government has no role in conducting elections in the United States. It's our local governments. We don't have 1 election. We don't have 50 elections. We have about 10,000 elections every election season. Every county runs their elections somewhat independently with the instructions from the state, and then our states have different rules from state to state. It would be very, very difficult to influence on those kind of elections. You couldn't just influence one person or one database. You'd have to influence tens of thousands of people and thousands of different databases if you were to try to influence the election. So that being said, it is still true that trust in our elections is at an all-time low. And this is really because of key political figures telling American people that their elections should not be trusted. And again, not casting any aspersions, but that is a problem in our democracy and something that we will be continuing to deal with. So we need to understand how our elections work, how our elections are supposed to work, and recognize that we do have trust. We should have trust in our elections process, carried out by thousands of volunteers and local government officials across the country. So that's what we're going to be talking about this week, is our elections, why election integrity matters, and why we need to have trust in our elections, and like. So again, 2 chapters this week, so 2 inquisitive quizzes, and then next week we're going into spring break. No coursework due next week. You guys, online students, need a break as well. So please either catch up with work that you haven't had a chance to do, or please just take a break during spring break. Enjoy yourself. We'll be hitting it hard when we come back the following week. So I'll try to do a video this Friday. I've been slow at getting them out because of my hand issue, but hope you guys have a great week. If I don't see you, I hope you have a great spring break, and we'll see you back at it next week.